Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nerd Talk Now. My name is Adam Portress, and welcome to the Wednesday show, man, or Thursday show if you're listening to the podcast. If you're listening to the podcast, you might want to join us sometime, man, if you'd like to. Sunday through Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. You can head on down to facebook.com/Nerd Talk Now. And join us up, man. We got the chat room going here. And if you were here tonight, like we have a couple of people here right now, you can enjoy in the call-in process. So this is going to be the first time that... Now, we've had some call-ins before, obviously. But this is going to be the first time that we actually have call-ins and just talk about whatever the heck it is you guys want to talk about. Because at the end of the day, what kind of went on... is that I started kind of putting a show together, figuring out exactly what we're going to do and everything. But one of the biggest problems, I guess, was that there wasn't a lot of news. Not as much as I wanted there to be, at least. And so I was like, well, if we can't get all the news and stuff that we want, let's throw it out to you guys. I mean, you guys have to listen to my, patter. That's the nicest way to put it. You have to listen to my patter most of the time, and that's cool. But at the same time, too, man, that's kind of been the whole idea of this show from the get of go, is that we want to have a conversation, man. I want to talk to you guys. I hope you guys, have some things that you want to talk about, and we'll kind of roll like that. To me, that's what's kind of cool. That's what's kind of fun, and anybody can do it. Even you too can be a successful guest of a podcast. I was going to say podcaster, but we all can't do this. You can. You really can. It's not. It's one of those funny things. Good Lord. Didn't turn my phone on silent. Kind of being an asshole on my own fucking show. Well, that's about right. So I got a couple things. Got a couple of stories that will kind of jump off here at the beginning of the program, because obviously we want to let a couple people start filtering in as per usual, so people can start coming in. And I'll say this again, man. For those of you that do join in the show and stuff and are active in the chat room and everything, God bless. That's something that I really wanted to happen for the show. But thought I would just have to beg and plead and just cry. Somebody just please talk, you guys. Please talk. I thought that was gonna be a thing that I would have to do, but I don't. And that's what I'm kind of stoked about that. And what's interesting though is kind of watching the chat as things go on. I think friendships are starting to develop. Everybody's starting to know each other and everything, and it's happening, man. It's happening, and that's ultimately what I kind of wanted to do with this show, is to put together some sort of community that we can all kind of get together and just nerd out about stuff, man. That's what this whole shebang is about. Now, a couple things have happened, and I wanted to talk about this the other day, but. If you saw or heard yesterday's show, you know what that was all about. It was Rantsville, baby, and you can't stop some Rantsville when Adam's on it, boy. I planned for yesterday's show to be. I was just like, oh, look, I'm gonna rant about this thing. It's gonna be quick. It'll be like 30 minutes, 45 at the maximum, and we butted up right against an hour of me just kind of, hey, give me a little bit to complain about, and by God, I'm gonna take it and just run to the house every single time. But, so a couple things have come out, and I wanted to kind of talk about them. I'd love to play something, but I can't because this show also goes up on YouTube as well, and YouTube has just been murdering me with the copyright strikes. That's why we don't get fun music coming in and out of the show anymore. Blame YouTube for that. And that's why certain things are like, oh, shaky ground. And I even other things like a trailer for Doctor Who, it was just like, well, no, you can't have a trailer for Doctor Who in your program. You're advertising our stuff. How dare you? So I've had to wean back on that stuff a little bit. So I won't play his stuff, but man, oh man, Chuck Berry died, and that was just sad. I mean, there's a lot of people that contribute a lot to music, but that dude was, I said when my initial kind of post and everything, I said the godfather of rock and roll, but really he's the father of rock and roll if we're quite honest with ourselves. If you look back at the history of the man's work and everything, and everyone's, enjoyment of his career and everything, it's pretty much their careers are because of him. You ask the Beatles, you ask the Stones, it's just like, who's your guy? And Chuck Berry was the answer every single time. And I'll tell you this, folks, if you have a musical icon that you're just like, man, I want to see this person live and stuff, if they're obviously still living. You see them live dead, you've got problems. But if someone that you like, if a musical icon that you like is still alive, go see them. Go see them. I think it's very important for you to go out and see those people. Chuck Berry was one of those that I always kind of had a little something in the back of my mind. Like I knew for years and years and years that the time was dwindling down. It was not going to be, a long time before he was gone. And but even all the way up until his death, man, the guy was playing damn near every night. He was out there, at his local club, Blueberry Hill, if I'm not mistaken, just playing all the time, even all the way up into his late 80s and 90 there. The cat just had a work ethic that wouldn't stop. Before he died, he's actually finishing up recording his latest album at 90 years old. Unbelievable. But the guy had a hell of a track record. Bumpy personal life, as is often wont to happen, especially of people of that particular era. But you can't take away what the guy did. Just a master of complexity and simplicity, which sounds like an oxymoron, but for what that guy did, he did a lot of things that were very complicated, but also made them that were not super complicated, but made them an art unto themselves. And it's pretty impressive. And just listen to the cover songs by all the guys in the 60s and stuff. That was the guy that they worshipped. And if it were not for him, the world of music, I don't think would be the same today. So he was unfortunately one of those guys that I didn't get to see. I got to see B.B. King before he went. I was super excited about that, and still probably to this day, the best concert that I've ever seen. And it was nice because it was like at a House of Blues in Myrtle Beach. I was maybe it was an all standing room, and I was like 30 feet away from the stage and stuff. But to see that live was just like unbelievable. So if you have a chance to see a legend like that, even if you've got to pay some bread, man. For example, now he's not up in that age just yet, and I wouldn't even consider myself a super giant fan or anything. I like the stuff well enough, but I'm not a giant fan. But I do want to see. Springsteen is still on the list for me. Not a huge Springsteen fan, but would love to see him. I'm a fan of Bob Dylan. I think I'd like to see him, but everyone that I hear has seen him says it's absolutely awful, and you're just playing that. I wonder what song he's playing now game. Stevie Wonder's still on the list for me. There's not a ton other. I've seen Clapton live. That was amazing. I saw Roger Daltrey live, so didn't quite see all the Who there, but I got a little bit. I got a little Who action. But yeah, there's not. It's Stones. I'd still love to see the Stones, but man, oh man, God, those tickets can be expensive. So save up your pennies, save up your dimes, and see those legends, man, because they ain't gonna be around forever. And I can tell you, having went through and seen B.B. King, I can definitely tell you that is something that is worth your time, worth your effort, and worth that money. Absolutely. Micah says, Bob Dylan was on my last concert 8 years ago. He's one of my all-time favorites. Now, Micah, did you understand half the things that were coming out of his face? Because my ex-wife went to a show just before right as we started dating and stuff, and she's like, "Oh man, if I would have known that you would have wanted to go to this, I would have got you a ticket and stuff." But she was like, "Yeah, I went." She's like, she wasn't a big fan or anything, but went there and was just like, I didn't, I know some of his songs, but I didn't understand any of it." Jimmy Buffett, that's a big one. I'm like, look, I think Jimmy Buffett is a lot like, to me, that would be a lot like, fucking hell, Springsteen, in as much as like it's an experience. It's just like, I may not be the biggest of fans, but what you're going for a hell of an experience. Okay, so you said you knew the words. All right, so maybe it's, and I also think when I hear that from some people, they may not know Dylan's work as much as they like to think they might, actually like it. But I think Jimmy Buffett would be just like a, because you're going for that atmosphere. You're not going because Jimmy Buffett's like a musical legend. He's got a couple of fun, kitschy hits and everything, and you're going for that kind of environment, that crazy parrot head environment that you can't get in there. Like, for example, I fucking hate the Grateful Dead. I hate them. Well, I mean, maybe I don't hate them, but I really I don't care for them. I don't understand what people see in the Grateful Dead. There's like 2, maybe 3 songs that I can stomach. Most of the others just, that it's jam rock. I hate jam rock. It's just I appreciate it for what it is, but it's not my bag, But I appreciate it to a degree as to like, oh, I see what you're doing. I'm not saying that it doesn't take musical talent to be like the Grateful Dead or Fish or something like that, but it's not up my alley, right? I think Jimmy Buffett, while I'll sway a little bit to the songs, and if you got a couple margaritas in you, why the hell not? But as Joe said here, it's a party, and that's kind of what you're doing. So that makes sense. But so if you can. See the legends that you love, man, and because it's important. It's important to give those people the love that they deserve while they're still around, man. Because next thing you know, they'll turn around and they'll be gone, and it's gonna be a damn shame, and you're gonna be kicking yourself, going, "Damn, I should have taken that drive all the way up there to see Chuck Berry before he went, man." That's gonna follow me. It's gonna follow me that I didn't get to see that guy. And it's not like he wasn't out there. It's not like he was, just some sort of crazy recluse who never came out and did any shows. He did shows all the time. Especially when you're older like that and you got that kind of work ethic, man. That's a dude, that damn near died with a guitar in his hand. So you got to respect the hell out of that. All right. Like I said, we'll go on to a couple of quick stories here. One I was asked to mention on the show. One that's coming from my heart. And then if you guys want, we'll open up the lines here and you can call in, say what you want. Do, whatever you want to talk about, man, we'll talk about that. That's the nice part about me is that, like, I don't dive. I'm jack of all trades, master of none. This is what I'd really like to say. I have I've dipped my toe in so many different pools, but I'm not pod committed to any of them. I like a lot of different stuff. I wouldn't say I'm an expert on any of it, but, it's fun. All right, so first up that I want to talk about here is a trailer drop. Now, it's not going to be your normal trailer. This is a trailer for something that is not big and giant in Hollywood, though in a small way, I guess it kind of is. This is something, this is a trailer for a series that yours truly helped make happen. Not only are you guys producers, I'm a producer as well. Not to a very large extent, mind you, but nevertheless, money is money. So let's take a look and a listen to the 47-second trailer for the new season of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. This is Moonbase 13. We need your help. Mayday! Show trap initiated.
The heck?
You speak to I, Kinga Forrester, commander of the Moon 13 Research Station. I am reopening my family's most legendary experiment, Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Movie in the hole.
All right, short, sweet, and to the point. That's the teaser trailer there for the new season of Mystery Science Theater. That's coming out April, was it 15th, I believe? Yeah, or 14th. I knew it was pretty damn close. April 14th on Netflix. I did participate in the Kickstarter for this series. Way back when, it seems now. I donated at the $100 level. Then I did a couple additions on after the fact, just because I was just like, maybe I might get some more neat stuff. Why not? And threw a little extra money their way. And I'll show all of the once most, if not all of it, comes in as far as all my little extra trinkets and stuff. I have a couple of them now, but I want to have more of them so I can kind of show you guys all at one time. Maybe I'll even make a separate video just because you can see some of them are a little bit better than this close ass. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But in theory, I should be getting. I should be because at the level that I donated, I'll be getting all the shows digitally, so I'll be able to download them and have them all. And so they said that will happen before it premieres. Now this is way back when, right? They said we'll be able to get those before they premiere wherever they ended up premiering. Now, obviously, they'll be out on Netflix on the 14th of April, so it's obviously not there yet. Hopefully it'll be at least a day. If it's a day, I'm okay. Give me a day's notice. Now, granted, I probably won't be able to watch all of them. Maybe one if I'm lucky. But you know, I'm excited. I'm a giant MST3K fan, and I was excited to see what they're gonna kind of do with this. The trailer shows a lot of the kind of old school style, but obviously there's some updated stuff. There's a couple of things that I found that were actually quite interesting. Let's see if I can maybe jump back and freeze frame on them where appropriate. Basically, well, the only thing that I'll really, and again, I can't say for nothing because on account of, it's a trailer. It is what it is. And we don't know. It's tough to say what you think, like as far as like tone and everything goes. So you can look at tone and stuff and just go like, oh no, man, I don't like the tone that's going on here. It's like, well, you don't really know how it relates back to what's actually being shown, so it's a little tough to really, because like Felicia Day's performance, I like her, mind you, but I was just like watching, I was like, I don't know if I like what she's doing there. But again, out of context, you don't freaking know. But I do want to point out this. There's a couple of neat little things in here. So you see, there's some movement. And that sounds funny, but there's movement from Jonah Ray, who's Jonah, what's the damn last name? It starts with an H. Let my people go. Here, fuck me. It's a late night, guys. I don't know what's wrong with me. Oh, I'm dying over here. Anyways, so he's kind of up and walking. So a little bit was I guess what I'm saying is here. So he's out of his seat. Then there's another scene in just a second where you see Tom Servo's up here floating, not in the seats down below, and Crow's kind of standing there. You're seeing his legs. So they're up and about. They're moving more than you. Heston, thank you. Fuck me. I knew. I just like it's in my brain. I'm just thinking that let my people go, damn dirty apes, and I'm just like, holy shit. I'm like, I know it. I swear to God, I know it. But you see him. You see Tom Servo hover skirt and all. You get that if you're an MST person. And of course, Crow standing up here. So they're moving around. So they're doing some stuff that's a little bit new. That's a little bit interesting. That's out there. So again, same kind of sort of looking set and everything. So it's the same yet different. And I think that's to me that's a big get. I like it. And now something that I did want to talk about as well, and something I didn't know, to be honest. Exactly, Jim. Thanks for that. And you are the flawless executive producer for that. That's why we have you here, man. Otherwise, I'd just be, locked in the closet crying and screaming like the little small child that I am. I didn't see this. I guess this was put on Funny or Die back in 2016, in December. Hopefully, they won't shut down the stream while I do this. If they do, maybe I'll start it back up again. But I'll play a couple of seconds for it. I'll put the links in the show notes, everybody. So don't get on my nuts, Funny or Die. Jesus, you know how these people are. And I'll put myself in a double box, too. So.
Star Wars auditions, Tom Servo screen test, marker.
Oh, could slate your name, please?
I'm Tom Servo, SAG-AFTRA, Equity, DGA.
Slate your name?
Crow T Robot, non-union.
I'll be reading for the part of Kylo Ren.
Oh, sorry, we had you down for BB-8.
Oh, okay. Because I'm a robot. A 10-man's a 10-man, right?
And it's interesting, basically, because, the voices are going to be different. I think that's going to be the biggest struggle for everybody. Now, granted, the voices of the robots have changed over time. But this is going to be the longest gap that we've had and most different. And honestly, with this short, it's not bad. Again, it's like everything, once you get a new person in there, it's going to take a little bit to kind of get used to. But I think once we get the patter down is pretty good.
Because we all look alike.
Beep, beep, beep. What's with this dialogue?
That's how BB-8 communicates. He beeps.
So one robot is fluent in over 6 million forms of communication and walks around on 2 legs, comprehending subtle cultural and environmental nuances, and the other one beeps?
Yes.
Just let me play Han Solo.
I mean, it's close. It's not bad. I mean, like, look, I like it. It's obviously it will never be the same as the other, but it's something that's cool. I think it works, and I'm interested in doing it. I've seen some people that have said that they went to like little small screenings and stuff like that because if you donated at a much higher level than I did, you got in on that stuff. And they said it's pretty good. They've seen like one episode. They go, the pattern's really good. The cool thing is that the guys, I forget their Baron Vaughn. What's the other cat's name? Help me out, Jim. The guys that they have playing the bots and everything are friends of Jonah's. So that makes the kind of interplay between those guys back and forth a little bit good. They say it works pretty well. So it's a lot of the same old. It feels like a nice comfortable shoe. You know, you put it on, and there's going to be, according to with the Kickstarter, like 14 episodes altogether. So I'm excited for that, and I should be getting all of them at once. One would imagine, sometime before April 15th. If I do, we'll definitely talk about them and let you know about that. Okay. So, moving on here, because I was asked to talk about this, and boy, howdy. Now, I have never, well, I won't say I've never, because I played a tiny little bit. This was, it was more my brother's bag than mine. But Mass Effect has come out, and Jim, you actually mentioned when you come into the chat room there that, hey, you stopped playing Mass Effect just to come to the live show. A, appreciate the hell out of that. And B, maybe you'll be our first caller here to talk about this momentarily. But there's a bit of a kerfuffle going on right now. And it's all kind of due to some of the wacky graphics that are in the new Mass Effect Andromeda. Let's take a look at some of these wacky differences between kind of the trailer that was announced for the game and everything, and the actual game itself. So there's some pretty wild differences, and we'll also get into some other animation and stuff as well, because boy howdy, is there some funny ass stuff in this boy. And some of it, that's like, that looks all good, that looks fine, all good there. And so far, not shabby. Plenty. Now so like what you see on the left is the original version that they saw, and what was on the right, and what's going to come over in this swath here. There's the old and now the new. Ugh, quite a difference. I would say not a good difference. I'd say a markedly worse difference, to be quite honest. It's not fantastic there. I do want to do. Let's show this. That's another video I wanted to rap about. Let's talk about. I want to show this, because this shows a lot of fun stuff that was edited well for me, so I don't have to do much of it. But look at this garbage. And it's like, hey, here's some stuff, and freak out. Everyone's having a bit of a heart attack. Look at the faces. Everybody's just freaking out and looking like, what is this? Watch. No. Oh, gotta take a shit. Look at that. It's not good. This is not good. Oh, what happened to me? I look like an idiot. Oh, man. This is bad. This is bad. Jim, call in whenever you're ready. This is I am shocked. I am shocked and awed that this day and age we would have something put out by a company that's a good company. It's not like, it's somebody that's brand new to the series. It's not anybody that's brand new to games. They just said, "Hey, we're going to do this and it's going to be great." And it turns out to look like a bunch of spazoids going cuckoo bananas. And I don't get it. All right, executive producer Jim Beverly on the line here. Jim, explain this game, man. What in the hell is going on with this?
Okay, so I've got a mixture of opinions about this. First of all, yes, I will relent that there is a noticeable difference between what was advertised and what we received.
Okay.
when I say noticeable difference, that's not to say that what we got is awful. I mean, it's not terrible. It's just not as good as what the advertisements showed. So let's put that on the back burner for right now. The facial animation thing, there have been a few isolated, obscure little moments where I've noticed facial animation glitches or problems in my playthrough, and I've put probably about 16 hours into the game already.
Okay.
So the main thing is the default appearance for the female main character is the one that's like majorly bugged. That's, if you notice when you showed that video, that was a majority of the glitches you saw were that character.
Right.
Because that one is the one that's bugged. It happens rarely with the other models, but even BioWare has come out and said themselves that, hey, we're aware of this bug, we're working on it.
Mm-hmm.
And now here's my counterpoint to that.
Counterpoint.
Mass Effect as of this year is 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It has a long history of, and a really good reputation. Mass Effect 1 was, a breakout. Mass Effect 2 revolutionized it. Mass Effect 3 had its quirks. We won't get into the ending kerfuffle, but on the whole, it was a phenomenal series. And I mean, you know me, I've been a gamer since I'm 32, and I've been a gamer since I was, old enough to hold a controller. Mm-hmm. So when I say this, it carries a great deal of weight. Mass Effect is my favorite series of all time. So understand that coming into this, because I may be a little biased with what I'm about to say.
No,
but
that's fine. I think that's absolutely. And here's the thing, I appreciate that. You want to know why I appreciate that? Because there are people out there that have opinions, weird opinions, and they try to justify things as best they possibly can. And I think that's a problem that, that they just go, no. This is not, like, nostalgia and stuff's not clouding my mind. This is one of the greatest things of all time. And that's not very rarely actually true. A lot of times there's a lot of stuff in there that makes us kind of go, oh, well, you know what I really like? I like this thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that, that it's the greatest thing, but you have a lot of love and stuff attached to that. But I think actually knowing that and being willing to admit it is the first step to say that it probably doesn't affect you nearly as much as you might think. Go ahead.
Right. And to give you a little background, my first experience with Mass Effect was in 2007 when it was released in Afghanistan. I picked up a copy of the game on the Xbox that I had in my little hut in Afghanistan. That was my first exposure to Mass Effect. Oh. So it was already a pretty crappy point in my life, and Mass Effect kind of helped me step away from that for a little bit. So there's a history of me in Mass Effect, and I've loved everyone since then. I've read the books. I've watched the animated movie that they made, the Paragon Lost one. I love Mass Effect. And going into this game, even seeing people, go crazy about this, facial animations and graphics, so what is what I say to that? Yeah. It doesn't ruin anything for me if somebody gets a little twitchy glitch when they're talking, or if a facial expression gets screwed up a little bit or at one little point in the game, or if it's not, the 4K ultra high resolution that, some people expected it might be. Mm-hmm. It's about the experience. It's about the characters. It's about the story. It's about the gameplay. There are so many.
It's about
more
wicked
factors
crab
to
walks,
this game.
everybody. You know what it is.
There's so many different factors to this game that people bitching about graphics and facial animation. It's so superficial. Mm-hmm. And that's what drives me nuts.
Yeah, I mean, and it is one of those things, and we do live in a world where things can be patched. It's not a big deal, you know. But it's not like it's 1985. You've got yourself a little cartridge there, and what you got's what you got, baby, and ain't going nowhere after that. Now you can release something that will go. I don't care if you're on PC or Xbox or PlayStation or whatever. Boom, you can get updated there, no problem. And big stuff maybe not, but the small things like that, little spaz outs and whatnot, it can't be that bad all to fix. But it is humorous. There's no doubt it's funny.
I've made the comparison to my friends. I said when my friends are like, "Oh, how about that facial glitch stuff, huh? Is that ruining it for you?" I said, "Listen, the internet, as it is wont to do, has completely blown that out of proportion. If you want an example of this, just do a Google search for Wonder Woman's armpits."
Wait a minute. The internet blew something out of proportion? Oh, Oh, actually, that was, believe it or not, Wonder Woman's underarm was actually going to be my second rant last episode. I didn't think that I was going to go on for 45 plus minutes on one topic, but I did have I had the underarms on deck because I was like, I'll talk about this for like 10, 15 minutes. I'll get bored of it. But I took a 4-minute video and made 45 minutes out of it. That's just kind of what I do. So I didn't get to the underarm thing. Let's talk about that real quick because I think.
Oh yeah, I definitely want to be present for this conversation.
Oh my gosh! So the Wonder Woman 3 third Wonder Woman trailer came out, and it's a decent trailer. You get to see more of everything now. A little bit some of the older stuff, but a lot of newer stuff, which is nice. So you get a little bit more flavor of the stuff. I'll be honest with you, it's the first trailer that's actually given me a little bit of apprehension. Just saying. But nevertheless, there's one shot in this thing where Wonder Woman is attacking someone. Her arms are over her head with one would assume she has a sword or some such nonsense in her hand, and is going to be attacking. This is a literal 1 second. 1 second. And the internet has become a giant cesspool of I wish I had the picture up here. I don't have it, but
for one frame.
for one frame here, and the crazy wacky feminists who just need something to bitch about. We finally got a great powerful solo female character who's going to come in, who's going to kick ass, who is not the damsel in distress, who is just going to make Chris Pine look like an utter pussy in this thing, I'm sure. Right? He's going to be the one who needs saving, not her. And what do we complain about? Wonder Woman has shaved armpits. That's the kind of world we live in, everybody.
Well, I have a social response to that, and I have a nerd response to that.
Oh, okay. Because these things are valid. Both things are valid, and I'd like to talk about both things. Please, let's start with Start with social.
We'll start with the social. Okay, so the social response is what they're claiming is that if she was raised on an island of Amazons and weren't held to the male standard of beauty, why would she have shaved her armpits or her legs? My response to that is she is a warrior. I was in the Army. I did a lot of hard work, hard labor and stuff like that while I was deployed, things like that. Armpit hair chafes. Leg hair sticks to stuff. If you're a warrior and you're doing a lot of heavy activity and stuff like that, it makes sense. Look at Olympic swimmers. Male Olympic swimmers shave their armpits and their legs too because it makes them more aerodynamic or fluid, hydrodynamic, or whatever the word is. It reduces resistance, it reduces friction, it prevents chafing. It's a reasonable, rational conclusion to come to that's why she would do it.
Yeah. And
now the nerd response is, Wonder Woman was created from clay. So if she doesn't grow body, she was created from clay and the hair was sculpted too. But if she was created from smooth clay, it would stand to reason that she wouldn't grow hair. Her hair was part of her when she was crafted.
But how she got hair on her head, man?
So she was basically a clay statue brought to life. So she came to life as is in the comic mythology of her. So maybe that's why she doesn't have armpit and leg hair.
It's not bad. I just want to do this for a moment. We didn't get to the chorus yet because it didn't load fast enough. It's not bad. It's not bad. I like the geek answer. The other answer's fine. It comes across a lot of the thing that I was talking about last night. We need something. Hold on. I'm sorry. Okay, we had to get through that. Thank you. Thanks for the indulgence, everybody. Adam just had to have fun for a minute. No, it was a lot like I was saying last episode. At the end of the day, what do we need? What do we need? What do we need? What do we need more than anything else on this planet? Food? No, hell no. You don't need no food. Water? Nah, fuck water. Who needs water? You don't need water. Look at Flint, Michigan. They don't need fucking water. They're fine. What do
I get my water from beer.
what do we get? I get my water from beer and Diet Dr Pepper. It's what happens. You know, we don't need none of that stuff. What do we need more than anything? That's right. We need something to bitch about. Because if you can't bitch about something, what the fuck? Who cares? You can't even, just hang it up now. If you can't bitch, it's over. So we need something. We need a place to point our anger. And to me, that's the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem right now is that, you're getting stuff that you've never gotten before. A giant multi-million dollar movie starring a woman who's going to just kick all kinds of ass in a story that's majorly about women. And you just go, well, she should be hairy and she should be, she should be like a big manly burly man. You know what's funny? We all, this is tough to get into, but I'm going to do it because fuck it. We all, it's the fight. Everybody's just like, oh, well, everyone's equal. As far as human beings go, yes, I'm a human being, you're a human being. We should be treated with the respect that any human being would, give to another. Absolutely, 110%. But to claim that, there's all these men and women are different than when we try to celebrate the differences between that are good differences, for both sides. That's bad. And then but if we say, well, you're just like me, then it's like, well, wait a minute, aren't I special? We can't decide what the hell we even want these days. I think that's the thing that bugs me more than anything. It's just the uncertainty of it all. It's just like you're either too special or you're not special enough. Which is it? And here's the thing, man. You want to know why Wonder Woman in this upcoming movie doesn't have hairy arms and legs? Because no one's going to go see that movie.
And really, that's what it comes down to. The bottom line is the box office.
The box office. If people see that, and here's the thing. Yes, there are standards of beauty, and there's a reason why. They've kind of had them for a long period of time, and there's a reason why a litany of them continue to be that same standard for years upon years upon years. Yes, it's something that's programmed into us, but at the same time, that is kind of something that people tend to like. It is what it is. Now, there are always exceptions to the rules, of course. Absolutely. No one would, I don't think, say any different from that. But at the same time, it's just like they're there for a reason. It's not for good or bad, but they just are. Things sometimes just are. And people can't just let things be are. I think that's the first t-shirt that I'm going to make up for this show is let things be are. I don't know, man. It's just, it seems like such an asinine, stupid thing to bitch about. But, I had a whole rant ready for this, but that's pretty much the crux of it. And I didn't want to, like I said, I got so damn excited with Iron Fist yesterday. You can only do so much. Anything else you want to kind of talk about, or we're just kind of.
When I saw the Mass Effect discussion come up, I was like, yes, I definitely want to talk about this. And then when you hinted at the Wonder Woman thing, I was like, oh, I wanted to talk about that too. But I think I've
that was something that I
geek out about.
No, that's cool. That's something I certainly wanted to talk about last night. But like I said, with what I had, it was just way too much. So, but thanks for bringing that up again, so I could at least use that use that rage for some sort of good, And again, tonight's show's gone on far longer than I expected it to, and it's because of things like that. So, thanks, man. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for being the executive producer and all that kind of good stuff, buddy.
Yeah, of course, anytime. Thank you for having me.
No worries, Ed. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
All right. That was executive producer of the program, Jim Beverly. You know him. You love him. He's a good guy. But yeah, if anybody else wants to call in, rap about anything, we'll do that. If not, we'll wrap up here fairly soon. Like I said, there's not a ton as far as news and stuff goes. Not enough that I really felt like I could aggregate it enough into a show that would really count. But it's what it is, man. It's what it's gonna happen. I'll give a quick. Oh yes, thanks, Micah. I'll talk about that. So yes, I did get to watch the new Dave Chappelle specials on Netflix. So Netflix yesterday dropped not one but two Dave Chappelle hour-long comedy specials. Man, that is a big deal. At that point, I do want to just kind of go. Hey, other comics putting out one special a year. This cat's got 2. But he's been gone for quite some time, so my guess is he had a lot of material with which to go to. As a, maybe I'll call myself former, because I haven't done it in a while, and I'm sure many of the people that I used to do it with would probably call me former, because it's like, you don't come out and do the shows anymore. It's 'cause, reasons. But I used to do stand-up comedy, so I did some, just open mic stuff. I'd do a little showcase here or there. Nothing big. I didn't have I traveled a little tiny bit, but not much. But I have a lot of friends who have. I had friends to go to L.A. and New York, which, by the way, this Friday, watch Jimmy Fallon. There's a young man that's going to be doing stand-up there named Joe Zimmerman. Hell of a guy. He was one of these cats that was up there, and he was always funny, no matter what. And even when he wasn't really telling jokes, when it was he just had Joe was a different kind of guy. But he's one of those people that, honest to God, it's when somebody just goes, hey, man, Joe's made it. And you're like, couldn't happen to a better dude. And meaning that honestly. Absolutely meaning that honestly, is that it could not have happened to a better dude. But he's done Conan before. He's done Craig Ferguson back in the day when that was on. But he's going to be on the Tonight Show, man. So a friend of mine, Joe Zimmerman, Friday night on Jimmy Fallon, going to be doing some stand-up, man. So I'm definitely going to be DVR in that bad boy. Like I said, again, couldn't happen to a better dude. Hell of a guy. But yeah, man. So Chappelle's two were out. Now I will say this: watch them with in the order with which they come up. I don't know why. That's how I did it, but. Quality-wise, on the second one that takes place in Austin, just from a audio-visual standpoint, doesn't look as good. Doesn't look as, it looks like, obviously it's a completely different video setup and everything, completely different venue. But when you watch it, especially if you watch them back-to-back, as I did, you're like, picture don't look as good. Sound is, it's fine. Once you get used to it, once you get in it, it's fine. But could have been better. But anyways, that doesn't take away from the content. This is great content that you can actually watch or even listen to. So if it works on the comedy album record as well. So if you just kind of have that going on in the background and stuff, you could still listen to it, have a fun time. Not a super visual guy. Oh, fuck me. I want to talk about this because I just mentioned Joe, because I tried to take a screen cap of this and tag him on Facebook, but the fucking thing won't let me, because I'll do it on my phone and do the Netflix and capture an image. They won't let you do that. It just turns black, dickheads. But if you watch the Chappelle, if you watch the first one is specifically, he's kind of doing this number. It's a little tough for me to see with the camera here, but he's kind of doing this number. He's kind of just touching his stomach a bit, right? That I wanted to do that and tag Joe Zimmerman and say Dave Chappelle is stealing your act, because Joe just has this thing where he'll just kind of like touch his belly all the time, just kind of slight rubs, slight little pats and stuff. It's just something that I've known him doing for well over a decade. So it's really funny to see that, and then just to see Chappelle doing that, I'm just like, he's stealing Joe's act. Just kind of, I was waiting for him just gonna go, hey man, that sounds pretty boss. Not too shabby. That's a good Joe Zimmerman impression if you knew him. But yeah, just look up Beards of Comedy on the internet. You'll probably find some of Joe's work. But nice gentleman. But Dave's stuff's good. It's very funny. Would I say it's some of the best stuff out there? It's good. It's good. It's better. I'll say this: both the specials are better. Not to take away, but the previous day I did watch Patton Oswalt's special on Netflix. It's all right. It's got some moments. It's not. He's had better albums. I'll be honest. And hey, that's just it happens. It happens. You're not always going to hit comedy gold. And if we're frank, my guess is, and it doesn't really come up, but my guess is that Patton's latest album was around the time that his wife died. So I think that probably may have had somewhat to do with it. I don't know. I could be wrong. That may have been his material just before then or whatnot. But it's tough. That's a tough hill to climb, man. Especially, hey, one of the most tragic things in your life ever happened to you. Write some funny jokes. Fuck, So, not for nothing. But Chappelle's stuff is real good. They're both, and the nice thing is they're both very different. Great stuff. Everything from relationship stuff to stuff with his kids to meeting O.J. Simpson, to him kind of going just how where he's been, what he's been doing, and does it quite funny. But in the first segment or the first special, you could tell there's a couple moments. Dave Chappelle is on the cigarettes like a motherfucker, man. He just always kind of, there's a bit of lip touching, a little bit of like a little bit of hand action there. It's just like somebody just needs a cigarette. Now, thankfully, in the second one, he asked for a cigarette from the crowd and everything. Great joke that I saw coming. Somebody throws up a cigarette. Somebody just throws one up there. He just picks it up and goes, "Oh, let me look at this." And he's like, "Oh, Marlboro Newport." He's like, "Now Marlboro Menthol. Now, if this is a Newport, now I'd know it'd be from a black person." But in menthol, that could Marlboro Menthol. That could be from anybody. So I saw that joke coming once that hit. But it's good stuff. But you could tell that he finally was able to sit on stage and smoke a cigarette. That he was just like, "Oh, this is way better." But it's good. It's good. I would definitely recommend that and stuff. So check out Dave Chappelle's new specials, man. A nice way to spend 2 hours of your day. I think that's about it. If we don't have any more calls or anything, if nobody has anything else to talk about, that's A-okay. It's all good. That's how we do on the show, man. Sometimes you have things to say, sometimes you don't. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here. I need to make it out to the movies. I still need to see the Belko experiment, James Gunn's new writing adventure that he put out not too long ago. But there's more stuff coming out, man. This weekend is going to be yet another big one. So the summers are getting closer and closer to January as every single year goes by, man. I'm telling you, 3 years from now, summer's going to be in November. And that's how they're going to start rolling with that crap. So yeah, man. That's it, everybody. I think we're pretty much done for the evening and everything. If you have any questions, suggestions, comments, anything of that nature, how about you just email that jazz in to me at nerdtalknow@gmail.com. And as always, you can go down to the iTunes, Stitcher, drop a review over there on iTunes, if you will. That would be lovely. If you can, subscribe to us on YouTube as well. If you missed the show, you can always check out the stream later on facebook.com/nerdtalknow, or you can go on to YouTube there as well and see it there. That's how we roll, man, so we really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thanks for Jim Beverly for producing the show for us and giving us a call in and talk a little Mass Effect and whatnot. And, of course, Wonder Woman's underarms. I mean, how can you go wrong with that? All right, everybody, that is it. I will see you next, tomorrow. Tomorrow. It's Wednesday, damn it. So tomorrow is Thursday. I'll see you tomorrow night, and, we'll talk about stuff then. Peace out, everybody.